Hey everyone, welcome back to the Bait Lab here. I'm Mike, this is hunting for Gills. Today's project is going to be, I had some subscribers that I run into every once in a while on the lake. They asked if I had any worms that had colored tails on them. So I went home and I gave it a shot, and this is what I came up with. It's a shaky head. I used a shaky head mold. It's one of the cheap Amazon ones I did another video on. It's not a core shot mold, but I had seen somebody else tried taking a regular mold and doing core shots with it, so I decided to give it a try, and it worked out pretty good. So I'm going to run through how I did it, and if you want to give it a try, feel free. So hang on a second, I'll get everything set up here and we'll get to shooting. Alright, so here's the mold I'm using. It's the shaky head mold. I did another video on it earlier. And then what I did was, to do the cores, I just took some welding rod. This is pretty small stuff. It's like 1/16 of an inch. And I cut it, polished up the ends of it so it wouldn't snag on the plastic. I covered this in a mineral oil and put it into the mold, and I'll show you how I do that. Alright, so like I said, I just using regular, little bit of mineral oil here for lubing up the molds. I put it, actually, instead of messing around with this big bottle here, I actually just put it into a small dropper, and all I do is a couple drops in the mold itself. Use this little foam brush and I coat the molds down a little bit so they don't stick. The rods themselves, same thing. Just stick them in here, give them a couple drops. Make sure they're coated good so they don't stick. And essentially I cut them so that they go about to the tip and into the sprue. So just lay those back in there and just close her up. Alright, so they're in there now. We'll clamp this guy down. Go, it's all clamped up. We'll heat up some plastisol. I got a cup made up here. All right, well, we're heated up here, I think. Let's see how hot we got her here. 327 or so. I might heat it just a little bit more so it gets past with the rod in the middle of it there. I want it to flow pretty good, so I'll hit it for another few seconds. That was another 15 seconds. So mix her up, see what we got. Okay, that's 340, so that should be good. Throw that up there. Got my injector warming up on the hot plate, so we'll give this a quick shot. Oh, got some air in there. I didn't want air. And apply plenty of pressure just to make sure she gets in there all the way. Top that off. And we'll let her cool down. So. All right, while we're waiting for this to cool down, here's what I used for the core to make the tails. Got a couple more pieces I'm going to add to that, and then we'll get that warmed up while we're waiting for this guy to cool down. So. All right, let's see how this goes. Well, good so far. So just pop them out of there. It's cooled down enough. So pop them out of there. Pinch them off. And you can see the rods just slide right out of them. little bit of oil off of them. Kind of oiled it up pretty good there. So there they are, and I don't know if you can see the color or not, but it's kind of a cool color. The color started out, I just melted down a bunch of pucks that I had. I added some black, some Dead On Plastics black, and then some emerald glitter to it, and it came out like that. So now that part's done, now we'll take and we will trim the tails off. And just take about that much off of them. All right, you can kind of see the hole through the middle there. Okay, add that back in there. That back in there. Don't need those for right now. We'll set these off so they can cool a little bit. All right, now through the miracles of television, I have a whole tray of them here that I shot, trimmed the tails off of them, washed them to get some of the oil out of them, and let them dry overnight. So here's the ones we just shot. Here's a tray full of them that I had already done. So I get the chartreuse going here, or get it done. It's I mixed up some plastisol with Dead On Plastics, chartreuse, and where'd you go? One of these was oh, there it is. And some black glitter. It's kind of a larger one here, so you can kind of see on the knife there. So, all right, so I've already dabbed on a little more oil inside here. I'm going to take the worms and I'm going to place them back in the mold. So just get them lined up in there. Now if I was using aluminum molds, I would heat these up, but I don't want to heat up the stone molds because they kind of warp a little bit. So, all right, so put it together. They seem to click together real good, so I know that they're in there straight. So, all right, now we'll see how our plastic looks. Now it's warmed up a little bit. Of course, now it looks like it's cooled down a little bit. Yeah. A little cool. So we'll hit that for another 30 seconds. And we should be ready to go. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. All right, that's 30 seconds worth there. Kind of hot. It's like 360, but I kind of wanted it hot so it adheres to the plastic a little bit when it gets in there. Doesn't take much for this, so really give it some pressure and hold. Top her off there. And wait. So give this a few minutes to cool down, and then we'll pop it open and see how they turned out. So, one thing I didn't mention here was that when I'm doing these, since I'm going to try and get a bunch of them done, so the plastic doesn't keep cooling off all the time. I'm going to set it back on my hot plate there. That's set at 250 degrees. It's not going to keep it like pliable, but it will slow it down from cooling so that it doesn't take as long to microwave to get back up to temp. So give this another minute or two and we'll pop it open. All right, I think it should have cooled down a little bit by now, enough to handle at least. So we'll open this guy up. See how it goes. And there we go. You can see that it got a good shot. It filled up the little breathers there at the end. And let's just see. There you go. Just pluck them off. Set that guy aside. We can wait to get a couple of those together and then we'll melt them back down again. Looks like they adhered pretty well. So we'll throw them in the water, cool them down, and throw another set in there. Warm that up. All right, good and hot again, I believe. Well, plenty hot. And press and hold. Probably held a little longer than necessary, but and again, back to cooling. Back on the hot plate and we'll crack her open. Yeah, and got a pretty good shot there. It filled all the way through. And looks pretty good there. I did have, not gonna lie to you, I had one of them that did not adhere very well. So this one will probably just probably pluck the tail off. The tail can go back in with the chartreuse and the worm can go back in the cup with that one. So, all right, so I'm going to go through all these now. I'm going to just shoot all these. You don't need to watch all of them, and we'll see how they turn out at the end. See if I think once the mold warms up a little bit, they'll probably adhere a little better than that first one did. So, hang on. I'll be right back. Should have a tray full of worms. So, stay tuned. All right, through the miracles of television, there we go. Got a tray of them done here. I'll try and show you a couple of issues I had. I did have some that the plastic wasn't hot enough and they didn't adhere. So that was an issue. There was only a couple of those, but then if you look at, as a comparison, I don't know if the light will work. Some of them are a little bit more orange than others. Apparently, I got the plastic a little hot and burnt a batch. So, other than that, I don't know. I made them for a subscriber. I hope he likes them. So, stay tuned for the next project. Got something else going on here. So, see how that one goes. All right, we'll take a look at the end result here. And you can see there's a few less than there was yesterday, so get a little look at them there. So yeah, it's a few less than there was yesterday. I already took the dog for a walk. I've been bagging up baits and taking them with me on dog walks and handing them out to random fishermen at random lakes around my area. And it's made for a few extra subscribers. So hey, you know what? Why don't you hit the subscribe button, and I'll just keep making videos. So thanks for watching.